As human beings, we are pretty inquisitive. Why this or why that, but we are constantly asking questions although we might not realize. We ask ourselves, we ask our friends or our family. What we do not know is that all the answers are just a click away. So here are some of the answers to the small questions that we frequently wonder about. But before we start, a kind reminder to please check our previous videos and do click like and subscribe. Why don't we recognize our voice in a recording? When we hear ourselves in a recording, it is often surprising and disappointing to many. The reason being, we usually sound very pitchy. And we often do not recognize our own voices because in a normal environment, when we speak, our vocal cords create sound waves that travel through the air to reach your inner ear, and we receive both sounds transferred to our ears externally by air conduction and sound transferred internally through our bones. This bone conduction of sound delivers rich low frequency that are not included in air-conducted vocal sound, which means that our voice usually sounds fuller and deeper than it really is. So when you hear your recorded voice without these frequencies, it sounds higher and different. Why does our skin get dark and our hair get lighter under the sun? Melanin is the pigment that gives us the color of our skin as well as our hair. When we are out in the sun, this melanin is broken down. When this pigment breaks in living things, it gets replenished as opposed to the dead cells. So since the hair is not living, this pigment does not get replenished, making our hair look lighter. In the case of our skin, when this pigment is broken, it gets a stronger replenishment, making our skin appear darker. Why do we get brain freeze? Also known as ice cream headache, this is a phenomenon where something cold touches the upper palate of our mouth suddenly, causing the rapid constriction of blood vessels, which then sends a signal to the brain and we get that painful headache in return. The pain can be taken as a sign to slow down the chomping of cold food items, or we can just avoid it by warming the roof of our mouth. Why don't we feel the cold in our eyes? Ever wondered that during winter, we feel the cold on our face, our nose, our fingers, but never in our eyes? Might not have struck many of your minds. The answer is pretty simple. The reason is because we do not have any temperature receptors in our eyes. As for our eyeballs, they are located way inside the skull, which is always kept warm because of the blood flow inside. Why do we have motion sickness? This is due to the confusing signals that the brain receives. When you are moving, there is a certain disturbance in your ear. So that's one signal telling your brain that you are in motion. But when you look down to the floor of the car, the floor is not moving, so your eyes tell your brain otherwise, giving your brain two different informations. So instead of your body realizing you are reading a book on a bus, your body thinks it is being poisoned, and the only way to deal with poison is to vomit it all up, causing the motion sickness. Why is dust white against a black backdrop and black against a white one? This is an interesting one. Dust is usually grey in color, but in small amounts, we cannot spot the exact color. We can only spot dust when it is in clumps. So when on a black background, it looks light grey, whereas on a white background, it seems to be dark grey. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to support our channel. Give us your thoughts in the comment section below, and do remember to stay tuned for part 2.